Hello everybody and welcome to Tiger Reacts. I hope everyone is doing grand, I hope everyone is doing great, and we are back with Hoops and Hip Hop's art channel where he's giving different evolutions to starter Pokemon. We checked out the Kanto region last video and I really enjoyed it and it did really well, and I've had a few people request for me to continue, so here we are continuing. So obviously after Kanto, it is Johto, and I think I'm just going to do these in regional order. So that being said, let's dive into Johto's evolutions and see what he came up with for the 3 brand new evolutions for Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile.
Hey there! Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video to find out how you could win a free copy of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Damn! Already have Brilliant Diamond.
A few weeks ago, I made a video where I created brand new final evolutions for the Kanto starter Pokemon.
It was a good video.
It was a fun experiment where I imagined what Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle could become in a world where Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise didn't exist. And this, of course, led me to wondering what it would be like if the other starter Pokemon had different evolutions as well. Which is why today we're going to be creating alternate final evolutions for the Johto starters.
Let's go!
Now, the Johto starters and their final evolutions are all pretty dang fantastic, for obvious reasons. So I'm gonna—
Hey, it seems like my boy is a fan of Cyndaquil. Big Cyndaquil fan, must say. Big Cyndaquil fan.
Have to get creative if I want to create something that lives up to the hype of Meganium, Typhlosion, and Feraligatr, but I think we can do it, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so naturally we are going to be starting with Chikorita, but before we do, I want to mention that the artwork in this video was drawn by Alestiva076, and he is credited in the description, so
I'm sure he's the same guy who did the last artwork, right?
be sure to check him out because he obviously deserves it. Okay, so back to Chikorita. What exactly could we do with this little grass-type bean in terms of a different final evolution? Well, sometimes the starters give you less material to work with than others in this department, which is why in Chikorita and Bayleaf's case, we had to take a look at their Pokédex entries to try and find something to work with, and as a matter of fact,
I do like the way he goes about this, right? He's not just going, hey, Meganium's a big flower. What if it's just like, thorns instead? No, he's actually going down the Pokedex. He's actually trying to make it legit. This could actually exist. That's what he's trying to do. I like that a lot.
There is an interesting detail to be had here. In Bayleaf's Pokedex entries, it mentions how it gives off an aroma that makes people energetic and want to fight, whereas in Meganium's Dex entries, it mentions how its aroma calms them down instead.
Okay, so you're gonna— I'm assuming he's gonna go down the route of it stays that way. Doesn't change. Bayleaf's aroma makes you want to fight people. Meganium's aroma makes you calm. So I'm assuming he's just gonna go, okay, what it happens if the next evolution just keeps that same aroma. That's my assumption. That's what I'm assuming. That's just my pre-watch assumption.
Interesting contrast from one evolution to the next, so I thought, what if Bayleaf kept this energetic fighting aroma instead, and its evolution expanded on this concept? Well, that's the idea I decided to run with, and that resulted in our alternate final evolution for Chikorita. Meet Victorose, the—
Whoa!
Evolving from Bayleaf.
Oh my god, that is a lot different than I expected. Hey, I said thorns, it's actually spiky. Oh wow, okay. No, that is sick. I like the fact that its eyebrows are like almost leaves, which is matching like the plant on it. Love this bit here, it's almost like a closed rosebud. I love the color palette too. Holy shit, Victorose is a dope ass name.
It embraces that fighting spirit that its aroma gives off and becomes grass fighting type in this final stage.
Yeah, okay, I like it.
Now, in addition to embracing Bayleaf's fighting theme with this evolution, the other thing I thought would be a good thing to explore is a contrast with Meganium from a gender perspective. Meganium, as well as the Chikorita family in general, are more feminine in nature, so I thought creating a more masculine evolution would be a good fit here. Especially
imagine if there was split Evos, and if you had a boy Chikorita, boy Meganium, boy Bayleaf, then you get Victorose, but then if you had a girl Bayleaf, you get Meganium. That'd be sick, man.
since I already decided to give it the fighting type. In terms of the design itself, that is why Victorose looks a little more masculine by comparison, and the rose and rose petals it has gained on its body since evolving also go along well with it being a fighter, and a champion at that.
I like it.
In fact, the petals draped across its back are meant to resemble the flags that many fighters will wear over their shoulders before and after.
Okay, very
cool.
cool.
Its name, Victorose,
I like that little detail.
is sort of meant to be a parallel to Meganium's name. Meganium comes from Mega, which I assume describes it as the final evolution of its line, and Geranium, which is the flower that it has around its neck.
Okay.
As such, Victorose comes from Rose, which is the flower that it sports on its design,
Yeah.
and Victor, which describes not only the fighting type champion aspect of its design, but also the fact that it's a more masculine
Very clean, very clean.
Pokemon, as Victor is a male name. This is its shiny,
Whoa!
which uses the purple shade of roses instead of the traditional red, and also I just think it looks really cool in general. And lastly, for those who are interested in stats and abilities, all of these will be pretty comparable to their final counterparts, since all starters generally have similar stat totals.
Very similar.
But in Victorose's case, I think it would swap Meganium's attack and defense stats, since it is more of an offensive Pokemon. Also, while as a starter its ability would still be Overgrow, I think Aroma Veil would make for a great hidden ability, since its whole concept revolves around its invigorating aroma that makes you want to fight. Next up is the Cyndaquil family, and you know what? I think we're just gonna stop here, cause what's the point in trying to recreate something that's already perfect? Okay, but seriously, as amazing as I think Cyndaquil and its family are, there are different directions that we could take its final evolution. I think the biggest thing about this family from stage to stage is that at first, they have a lot of porcupine traits, as well as those of other similar animals, but when evolving into Typhlosion, they just kinda lose all of that, as Typhlosion is more of a badger-like creature instead of a porcupine, hedgehog, or something along those lines.
Okay, yeah, no, I see where he's going. Yeah, Cyndaquil does kind of like a hedgehog-esque porcupine thing. So does Quilava. I'm losing Quilava there. Quilava doesn't seem very porcupine-y to me, but I kind of see where he's going with that. So are we gonna lose the badger-esque sort of Typhlosion and go more down a porcupine route? That'd be very interesting.
I see this as good of an opportunity as any to create a new Cyndaquil final evolution, so that's what we're going to do. Create a final evolution that stays more on the porcupine, hedgehog, echidna side of things, like its pre-evolutions. Meet Volquil, the fire Pokemon.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, that is sick. That is very porcupine-y. Volquil, I'm assuming, is like Volcanus or a volcano type thing, and then Quill obviously from a porcupine. I love the buck teeth, that is great. Loving the big fire spikes, and it does actually kind of look like it could be an evolution to Quilava, because it always baffled me how, I know Typhlosion can go on all fours, but it usually stands up, and then you have Cyndaquil and Typhlosion can stand up, sorry, and then Cyndaquil and Quilava are all on all fours, and it always kind of baffled me how it just learned how to stand up. So keeping it by quadrupedal is very interesting. Love the fact that it's Typhlosion's color palette, just with more fire and more spikes and stuff. I love the buck teeth too. That is great. I love it. It looks like you can gnaw at things. Fire Fang would be a cool move.
As you can see, as opposed to Typhlosion, this evolution of Cyndaquil and Quilava stays on all fours and grows into its porcupine elements instead of out of them.
Yeah?
As this was the main motivating factor behind this design though, there isn't a lot of intricate detail to it like there was with Chikorita's evolution, since I didn't have to get quite as creative to make it work. That's okay though, because clearly it still looks awesome just the same, at least in my opinion anyway, and additionally, this is also why Volquil is pure fire type, just like Typhlosion. In terms of its name, Volquil comes from...
If anyone knows how he gets a picture to move like that, let me know. I do have an art channel, and I'd love it if I can make my images move, like sway. If anyone knows how he's doing that, please fill me in on that information. I thought I'd end that with that information, because if I just ask someone to fill me in, that sounds kind of gay. Anyway, let's continue. I want to know more. I'm very, very happy with Quilava's alternative evolution.
From Quill, referring to its
of course,
quills and its porcupine inspiration, just like its pre-evolutions do in their names. And Vulcan, who is the Roman god of fire.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Shiny,
Roman god of fire, cool. Yeah, I also yeah. Cyndaquil, Quilava, Typhlosion loses the Quill name, so he even keeps the Quill name. That's really sick. That is shiny.
I decided to revert back to the Cyndaquil family's original shiny colors that they had in Gen 2, which were inexplicably changed and made worse in Gen 3. So we're gonna right that wrong in the hopes that maybe one day it can happen officially as well. In terms of stats, I would naturally use Typhlosion's as a base, but I would take 10 off its attack, making that 74, to boost its defense, making that 88, and take 10 off of its speed, making that 90, to increase its special defense, making that 95. But
I would think it'd be faster, because it's on all fours and stuff. I'd increase its speed. Typhlosion's a big chunky boy, he'd be more defensive, right? I'm confused on where he's going about with the stats. I'd make him faster.
As a porcupine, it is more of a defensive Pokemon now, with all of its flaming quills. Its ability would also still be Blaze, since it is a starter, but its hidden ability would be a brand new one called Flaming Quills. This would act pretty much the same as the Toxic Spikes move, where if Volquil is hit with an attack, some of its flaming quills will get shed onto the opponent's side of the field, and will then burn any opposing Pokemon that switches into
okay, I see how he's doing that, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Battle from that point on. I think having a cool signature ability like that helps to offset its lack of a cool new dual typing a little bit, and overall, in a universe where Typhlosion didn't exist, I think Volquil would make a pretty cool replacement. Finally, we come to the Totodile family, and in terms of a new final evolution, I knew what I wanted to do with this one immediately. You see, when Totodile evolves into Croconaw, it gains a pattern on its stomach and chest that is meant to resemble a caveman's shirt overall covering thing that they stereotypically wear. However, upon evolving into Feraligatr, this caveman element of its design just goes away and doesn't really play a factor anymore. I've always thought it was kinda strange that this appears once Totodile evolves into Croconaw, but then disappears just as suddenly when Croconaw evolves into Feraligatr. With my alternate evolution, I wanted to change all of that and have Croconaw really grow into this caveman theme.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to give credit is due. His thought patterns are great. You know, he's going down with, Bayleaf, he went down a specific trait in its character, in its personality, in its body, in its, history, using the Pokedex entries. And then with Cyndaquil and Quilava, he went down the route of, well, just make it the same animal. And then with this, he's doing exactly the same, where he's leaning more into one very specific detail that they lose when they evolve. I'm loving his thought pattern here. It's absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Upon evolving into its final evolution, and that is what resulted in Crocodone,
Whoa!
Pokemon. Upon evolving,
Holy shit! Okay, I'm assuming it's water rock type. He's got pants! He's got pants! I like the, color palette here. More like a greyish tone to him. I loved all the rocks on him and everything. I don't know how I feel about the rocks coming off his arms. I don't know if I like that or not. But I definitely like the pants. The pants are great. I like the headpiece. That's very, very cool. But holy shit, bro. Crocodone?
Evolving from Croconaw, Crocodone becomes
Did you call him Crocodone because of the Flintstones? We'll see.
water rock type, referencing the caveman inspiration. Additionally, one of its key features is its head, which is as hard as a rock and is now used by Crocodone as a weapon.
Nice.
It actually gained this stony skull as a byproduct of its decreasing intelligence upon evolving, which again references its caveman origins. The fact that it's a crocodile also fits in perfectly with this theme, as crocodiles have ties to the prehistoric, having been around for 200 million years. Its name also comes from crocodile and stone, as in Stone Age, referencing the caveman once again, but also its rock type too. On top of that, the last part of its name also sounds like dome, a word often used to refer to the head, linking back to its design once more. It's shiny, meanwhile.
I do like that top of the dome. Yeah, okay, I see that reference. I don't like it green. Nuh-uh, I'm sorry, I don't like him green. Why is he a booger?
Takes on the green color that is traditionally worn by crocodiles, and its stats, just like the other starters, would be comparable to Feraligatr, except I would take 20 off of its defense and give it to its attack, giving it a whopping 125 base attack. You might think that it would have a greater defense as a rock type, but I think the larger attack helps to illustrate it a little better as an unintelligent brute. One that's very...
Okay, no, that I can see. That makes sense. Making it so its attack's higher than its defense. One, because it would be goofy, dumb, kind of like a caveman, like he said. But also, he wouldn't be... This Pokemon would think about attacking someone, not caring about its own, like, health, its own well-being. It'd just go in for the attack, and it could stumble. It could headbutt something too hard. You know, so yeah, that makes sense if you're leaning into the caveman thing. That stats make sense. The whole, Volquil, that didn't make sense.
Strong, but not exactly smart enough to defend itself. As for its ability, it would still have Torrent, but its hidden ability would be Rock Head, because, I mean, it literally has a rock head.
Yeah, fair.
And there you have it.
Hey,
That's what it'd be like
they look really good together. I could see this being a trio in a Pokemon starter game, a trio starter for a Pokemon game. I think my favorite is Volquil. And then I'd say Bayleafs, and then the Quilava's one, then Bayleafs, then Croconaw?
if the Johto starters had different final evolutions.
I like them.
Be sure to let me know your thoughts on these designs in the comments below, and leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You can also support the channel further if you would like by listening to my Pokemon remixes on Spotify, and you might have heard, but I just released a brand new album of remixes for the first time in a few years. I'm also running a promo along with that as well, where
of course, his name is Hoops and Hip Hop.
Every 5,000 new listeners I can get on Spotify between now and the release of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I am going to give away a copy of those games. So be sure to check out the new album because it really helps out the channel a lot and is very much appreciated, and you can also potentially win yourself a free game at the same time. With that said, I will be back very soon with another video, so until then, as always, I love you guys, thanks for watching, and I will smell you guys later.
First off, not if I smell you first, bitch! Anyway, yeah, I thought those were great. I don't like the shiny to Totodile's new final evolution. I'm sorry, I just don't do the whole green shiny Pokemon, and I like the way he was going with it, but I just don't like green shiny Pokemon. And Cyndaquil's new final evolution stats I don't agree with, but other than that, the artwork itself were all phenomenal, absolutely fucking fantastic. Anyway, that's been me reacting to another Hoops and Hip Hops video, where obviously he's creating new, different evolutions to the Johto starters. I think he's actually up to date now with all of the regions, so do let me know if you want me to make this whole series, and continue with all of the evolutions, different evolution starter Pokemon videos that he's done with every single region. I'm very happy to do so. I do believe he's up to date. And with that being said, do of course hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell. Go check out Hoops and Hip Hop's other videos. Go check out the rest of the channel. And I shall definitely see you guys in the next video. Love ya. Bye.